It is new machine day. We are getting ready to take delivery of our brand new engine lathe. I'm really excited about this. This is going to be my very first brand new lathe to me that I've ever had, and super excited to get it in here in the shop. So the truck driver literally just pulled up. He's getting ready to get it unstrapped. And Joe, my buddy, he's coming around here right now with his forklift. Should be real quick, easy lift. Pick it up, set it right here in the shop. All right, there it is. They're gonna get it unstrapped and unwrapped. And so Joe's gonna come around here in just a minute with his forklift and give me a hand, and we'll get it taken off. All right, here comes Joe with the forklift. Getting that last strap off, and then he'll get the tarp off of it there now. Making this look easy.
Yes, sir. Where you want it, Mama? Right out the door?
Yeah, I'm gonna guide you. Well, pretty much just straight in, because I'm gonna use the overhead crane there to be able to pick it up. Yep, go just like you're going. I think that's good, man. We had a nice successful unload there. Big thanks to Joe for bringing his forklift around here, unloading it for me. That was super easy, getting it off the trailer, just bringing it in, setting it down. Hoping that the Gorbel jib crane is gonna be up to the task of unloading it off the crate. It's under the 2-ton limit there that the Gorbel has. This is gonna weigh, I think, right around 3,500 pounds, not including the crate, the skid there, and just really excited. So I wanna point out, this is my first brand spanking new lathe that I have ever owned, and I'm really excited about that. You know, this is what I wanted for the new shop here. I wanted a brand new machine, brand spanking new, that had no wear on it, nobody else using it. I wanted something brand new, right out of the crate, and that's what we went with there. So I contacted Matt up there at Precision Matthews Quality Machine Tools and spoke with him about his 1660 TL lathe. And also my friend Brad Jacob, basement shop guy on YouTube. He was an influencer on this as well, because this is the same exact lathe that he got, I believe not last year, maybe the year before he got it. And he's got a great series there on YouTube of receiving his 1660 TL and unloading it and everything. So I watched that series and really enjoyed the quality that I think is put into this lathe right here. And I think Precision Matthews has a great website going over all the features of this machine, and they back everything up too with support. You know, if you need parts, if you damage it, crash it, they support these machines, and I think they're a pretty good value for what you get. So really excited about this. I'm gonna be spending the day getting this guy uncrated and getting it set into place, and I'm really looking forward to it. This is exciting to me, being able to do this. So let's get going on it. All right, so here's another quick look at it in the crate. So again, this is from Quality Machine Tools. They're up near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is their PM 1660 TL. TL stands for tool room lathe. This is 100% made in Taiwan. It is a Taiwan-made machine, which anytime that I try to pick something that is of Asian origin for the shop, I always try to go with Taiwan. I think that they have a superior quality when it comes to the Asian market built machines there. Nice heavy duty skid, bolted down to that. Nicely wrapped up, so it was very well protected with the plastic covering. And then the truck driver there, he had it double wrapped with this tarp there as well to keep it from any moisture getting to it. And he did say that they actually did not have any rain on the way down, so that was a plus there as well. Abby just showed up to help uncrate it, didn't you?
Look how big it is. It's huge. Let me stand in front of it.
Definitely much bigger than you.
It is. Oh, this is so exciting.
It's very exciting, isn't it?
Yes.
I think they did a good job with the crating on the machine
Yeah.
there. Looks good.
Wow, you don't get to say that all the time, do you?
Not
Oh, it's
often.
gonna be so awesome.
We got a lot to do. There's a lot of uncrating that we have to do.
Yeah.
The whole machine is, coated down with the rust inhibitor. It's got to be cleaned off, and of course we got to get it set into place, get it leveled, and then have the electrician come and wire it up.
Yeah, this is awesome. You know exactly where it's going?
It is going to be going
Right
right
there.
there in front of that wall. That's where it's
Yeah.
going. Should be pretty simple. The Gore Bell should handle it because this is under 4,000 pounds, so it's going to be the first real test of the crane.
Awesome.
Yep. Let's get this thing uncrated. Looking better every minute we get into it. So I'm no expert on uncrating machinery. I was trying to make the minimal effort needed to get the crate off there without making a huge mess and trying to undo everything. So worked out good. I was trying to get the sides off, and then of course we got the front piece off and was able to flip the top and the back off out of the way. So I'll be able to just break these down a little bit further, get them cut up, and then get them disposed of. So nice being able to see the lathe a little bit closer now for the first time. We'll go ahead and continue our uncrating. I'm going to get rid of all the wood here, and then we'll start unwrapping it. All right, let's raise the skirt. Look at that. That is sweet. Brand spanking new. Not one person has run this machine, except for maybe at the factory, of course. That is nice. It's going to be so nice having a brand new machine, good clean slate to start from for doing any kind of manual machining, just like I always do, like you're used to seeing me do. This is exactly what I wanted for this shop right here, a nice brand new machine for the sort of everyday go-to lathe for, you know, doing jobs. This is going to be nice, really nice. Before we go any further with our uncrating and getting off the skid there, let's go ahead and give you guys your first like close-up of the machine. Let's talk about some of the features that it has and some of the extra equipment that it's equipped with, okay? So once again, this is a Precision Matthews 1660 TL. TL stands for the tool room lathe. It's supposed to be a ultra high precision lathe. I want to point out that the base on this thing, minus this cover here and the chip pan, is formed sheet metal, but it has a solid cast iron base that the headstock and the bed is mounted to. That's an important feature for me, is having a solid cast iron bed. That's how my Victor machine, my Victor lathe is built. And I believe it adds a lot more rigidity to this classification of a lathe. A lot of the ones that I looked at over the years and trying to decide on what I wanted, that I actually run one too that it's just sheet metal in the middle here. So all you have is a cast iron foot here, cast iron foot here. I like it when it connects the whole bottom with a cast iron base there, okay? So the headstock and the quick change, this is designed so that you can cut metric and inch threads without the need of changing any of your quadrant gears out here on the end. Okay, that was another feature that I wanted anytime that I was ready to upgrade to a newer lathe. I didn't want to have to come over here and swap gears like I always had to do. So that's a nice feature built into that right there. It comes with a 3-jaw chuck. This is a D16 cam lock mount. Unfortunately, Matt was out of the 4-jaw chucks at the time that we made this deal. So I'm going to source a 4-jaw chuck at another time for this machine, but it does have a brand new 3-jaw. We got your micrometer stop right here. A steady rest, looks like it's up to about 6 inches or so. Follow arrest. This is the stock tool post, but this will be coming off because I'm going to be adding a 40 position multi-fix type of tool post to this lathe. And one of the things that surprised me is that they went ahead and cleaned a lot of the rust inhibitor that they paint on this from the factory. It's kind of like Cosmoline. I'm not sure what they use today, but they went ahead and cleaned it off, probably because I had them install the digital readout for this. It's pre-installed. This is the DRO right here. We just got to get it mounted up on the bracket. MagnaKit, the MX200L DRO. So they did install the scales for me up there at Precision Matthews, Quality Machine Tools. And there you can see the scale mounted on the back side there. We have flood coolant. Your coolant sump is going to be behind this cover right here, so you pull it out to access that. Full length chip pan on the back. Got a nice light. That's probably a halogen light if I had to guess. This is going to be the bracket that holds the readout for the digital readout. So I like that you actually access the chip pan from the front here. I believe these are some brackets that maybe you take these guys off. You got a bracket there and take that off, and then this should slide forward to give you access to the chip pan to clean out. So we don't have to worry about getting in here behind it and having to take up a bunch of extra room because it's going to be close to the wall. You won't have to get in here behind it to access it. The only reason we're going to have to get in here is just for the electrical panel, and the electricians will be coming and hooking in, and you see it goes right into there. Pretty simple. It says 220 volts, but yeah, this is a 3-phase machine, and I have 240 volt 3-phase here at the shop. Another design feature that I really liked about the 1660 TL here is the design of the chart and all the information that you look at and you refer to every time you run it, such as your speed change gearing up here, okay? Very nicely done. All of your thread pitch and your feed rates, all easy to read, understand, okay? It's very nicely done, all of these charts here. It just doesn't look like a second thought. On a lot of machines, this stuff right here is hard to read, it's hard to understand, it's not designed well. I like this layout right here. I think it's very professionally done. They've even got some interesting warning stickers on here, you know, warning you about your long hair, long sleeves, leaving your chuck key in the chuck and slinging out and throwing it at you. So that's just interesting to see those warning decals there. So the next step, I'm going to go ahead and get it unbolted from the skid. I forgot to point this out. This is your toolbox. It's probably going to have some tools and maybe some extra gearing in there. It is equipped with a foot brake there as well. All right, but we're going to get it unbolted from the skid. I'm going to start getting it strapped up, and we are going to be using the Gorbel to pick this guy up. I'll go ahead and strap around the bed, get it secured the way it should be, and we will fly it over here into this spot. This is where the lathe is going to sit. It's a perfect spot from the door down to the end of the wall. We're going to set it right in there. The electricians are already planned on bringing a circuit around here for it. They're going to be coming out of this circuit here that's running the pacemaker. They ran a 100 amp circuit over here so that I could run some more machines off of this. But we'll have a dedicated disconnect probably coming around to here. Be a real simple hookup. There's actually plans to run 2 machines off of this right here. I'm sorry, 3. Pacemaker, lathe, and possibly a milling machine will go here later as well. There's our book right there. So in the toolbox here, this is going to be our pads. That's going to go underneath the leveling screws right there. And then looks like included, there's a carbide center, dead center, so that's probably a full steel. This one's going to be carbide tipped. We got the wrenches, a screwdriver. This is always the normal tools that they usually include in these toolkits here for anything that you're having to take apart or work on the machine. You know, getting some of the access panels off of. This is going to be your center sleeve that's going to go in the spindle that your dead center will go in right there. So it's a reducer Morse taper sleeve for the spindle. We'll leave these out because we're going to need them soon. All right, here's our DRO kit. So of course we got the manual for it. MX200L DRO, 2-axis readout for the lathe. This is a DRO that Quality Machine Tools supplies and installs on their machines. Let's take a look at the readout real quick. All right, there's our readout. So once we get the lathe in place, I'll start putting all this stuff together on the machine. All right, we got our paperwork here. This is going to be an accuracy chart from the factory where they do all of their tests, and it gives the error. Interesting. All right, electrical schematic right there, and then this is going to be the owner's manual there. And I wanted to go ahead and take a peek in here and see this is going to give us all the information we need, and then I watched Brad, do his machine unveil and get it all set up. There was a lot of steps that you really got to take before you, just fire it up and start using it, including a break-in cycle in the oil change. But I wanted to see if they actually have a schematic in here for picking up the machine. So right here, okay, lifting the machine with a crane. And it looks to me like they've got a strap going right through the center rib of the bed, just like we lifted on the American Pacemaker. It's actually got some instructions there for lifting with a forklift. One of the benefits of having your cast iron base there as well. All right, so this is the next step right here. We've got it strapped in there to the center rib, so I'm using 2 of these straps right here. That way it helps stabilize it side to side, since you'll have 2 of them on there with the wide straps. Shackled, hooked to the crane. All right, and then what we'll do is we're going to be using the carriage and the tailstock here to help offset it. Matter of fact, I want to go ahead, since they've already got the rust inhibitor off there, loosen the tailstock. Let's go ahead and bring it all the way to the back. We'll lock it back in. Lock the carriage clamp. Unlock it, I mean. Oh, that's nice. That's the first I moved it, nice and easy. But let's bring it all the way to the back to our furthest point right there. We'll go ahead and snug that back up. And hopefully that's going to be a nice balance point for the lift. We're just going to do a test lift right here. Make sure the crane's actually going to pick it up, but at the same time we want to watch it and make sure that it's balanced right and that it's going to be a safe lift here. So let's go for it. Tailstock side is up. Looks like it's going to be a little too uneven. Yep, I don't think that center rib is going to do the job. So let me let's back up here and let me reconfigure so that we can get a balanced lift. It looks like we're probably going to have to go back here closer to the headstock, and the only issue with that really is the scales on the back side here. That's going to cause a problem. So let me figure this out and I'll bring you back. I've got a new plan of attack for the lift, and I think I've got it ready to go. I've been taking my time getting this thing centered and properly balanced to where I believe once we actually pick this up all the way, that it'll be balanced enough that we can get it off of the skid and get it down really close to the concrete here. So let me show you what I have done. That's one of my bigger straps that I have. I need one with a little bit more length than what I had available. Now notice the wood cribbing in here. We've got one going across the bottom right here, and the length of this block is allowing the strap to come around and not touch any of the feed rods here, including the lead screw, the feed rod, and then this is for the clutch here. All right, same thing on the back. Let me see if I can jump up here and show you. On the back, what you have to do is you have to miss the DRO scale, this right here, and you can see the strap is clearing it, and then the block at the top is keeping it spaced out so that the strap is not touching the lead screw right here, because it was very close right there, and it wasn't pinching it, but it was still coming up and touching it. So I went ahead and put this block in there to help keep that space properly. And one other thing I'll note, I added, these are the leveling pads that I just machined for the pacemaker. Obviously I haven't got them installed yet. I needed just a little bit of extra weight on the headstock side. That's why I moved the carriage and the tailstock forward here, because it was a little out of balance. And if you look underneath here, you see the casting right here. Well, when I was picking it up the first time, it was right in this area here, and it was unbalanced. So I couldn't go any further because of this casting, the way it comes up right there. So we're over as far as we can go, and it made it off of balance just a little bit. to the point where the headstock was coming up a little higher than the tailstock. So the counterbalance weight's right there, I think is doing the trick. So we're ready to start the lift here. I'm gonna try to be as careful as I can, stand off out of the way. But what's gonna happen is once it picks this up, it's gonna naturally try to roll forward on the beam. It is putting enough deflection on there to where I can tell that it's trying to roll forward a little bit. I actually probably should have had a little bit more shim on that beam to pick this side up just a little bit further for the full capacity, but we did the shim size that Gorbel suggested to put in there. So once we get it up, I'm gonna let it kind of roll forward a little bit. As soon as we get off of the skid, I'm gonna lower it down right here, regroup, and then we'll be able to lift it and just kind of push it right on back over there into place. Let's go for it. All right, the weights over there worked good. So far, it's not trying to roll. I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and push it that way. As soon as I get it over the top, off this skid here, I'm gonna lower it down gently. I love this 2-speed chain hoist here. Slow and controlled. I want to get it down close to the ground to where we're not really up high at all. Okay, tailstock end is just touching right there. You can hear it. Let's just go ahead and set her down so I ain't got to worry about it trying to move, because I need to get some other things in order before we move it again. Okay, there we go. Safe lift, number one. We've got one more to do, but I think we're good to go. So that worked out good with the cribbing here. I wanted to mention that if you look in some of the old Monarch lathe manuals, this is how they show how to lift their lathes. The Monarchs go underneath the bed, and the way they built their skids was, I believe, on each end there was another timber that was bolted to the skid. In the instructions it said to remove those and use those for the cribbing underneath the bed to do your lifting, just like that, so you can straddle and miss all this stuff right here. So I'm happy about that. That worked out good. I've got this cribbing here, just some 2-bys, so we're just gonna pick the machine up and set it right down on these 2-bys, headstock end, tailstock end right there. And then that'll allow me to use my toe jack at that point to be able to lift it off of the 2-bys and then get it set down on the pads. Let's begin our lift and move to set it into place. Yep, I don't want it to roll back any further. Not gonna lie, it's a little hard to move this with the full weight on here. Let's get it a little closer. Just trying to keep it controlled here. Nope, nope, nope. All right, let's set her down right there. You gotta be careful with that switch. It's easy to make it go in rapid. I won't leave the door open, but I can tell I can come back a few more inches. I want to get it as close to the wall as I can. And I do want to try to maximize what little bit of room I'm going to have right here. I have the idea of possibly putting a milling machine in this area. That way it's underneath the crane, it's close to it, and you can come off this circuit here. We're about there. Let's just tweak it a little bit. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, we got to go that way a little bit more, I know. too close to the door here. But that's good on our electrical panel right there. We can still go back about 3 more inches towards the wall. We need to go that way though. Let's try it on this end here. All right, I think you guys get the picture here. This is going to be our spot. I just got to fine tune it and tweak it, and I can certainly get it on rollers if I need to fine tune it. But yeah, we're safely on the board there. I think this is going to work out good. See, you can still kind of get in behind it. Still access the electrical box here. Main thing is I want to tweak it to where our door isn't slamming into it right here. So may have to put a stop on the door, but we may go on back that way a little bit further too. All right, I think we've got her set into place. I'm real happy that the new jib crane worked out there. I know it would have been a lot easier if I had a second person, and everybody was busy today doing their own thing, so that's why it was just me here. I do have enough room here that you can walk around behind the machine, access the receptacle there, light switch, and you can even get in here, see that, to control or get into the electronic box. I'm trying to maximize my space. You know, if I had unlimited space, I'd definitely have, you know, a good 4 foot behind the machine right here between the wall, but I need to maximize my space in the shop as best I can. So I wanted to point out, I think instead of using the factory supplied leveling pads right here, I'm going to go ahead and machine 6 more of these guys. These are the ones that I machined for the American Pacemaker right here. And it's going to bring it up a little higher. So about where it's sitting right now, really just a little bit higher than that. And that'll be a good height, and that'll look nicer than the, you know, the factory cast iron ones too. So what I've got just enough of those to make 6 more. In fact, what I can do is just go ahead and swap out. See, I've got some under the Pacemaker. So I'll pick this up and take these guys out and go ahead and stick the new ones underneath here ready. We still got to get to that, but that's what we're going to do. I'm happy with it. It looks good along the wall right here. It's a perfect spot for it. And then as far as the door goes, what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to screw or bolt down some kind of little stop onto the concrete to where the door will actually hit a stop instead of the handle against the machine right there. So that'll be my plan for that, okay? That's a minor issue. All right, from here we're just going to use our toe jack to lift each end of the machine up. And then we're going to go to these larger, these are the blocks that we used in the strap whenever we were lifting it. And it'll get it up a little bit higher for our leveling pads that I'm going to machine for it. All right, we got one on the back side there. Let me go get that one in place. Easy does it. And we'll go to the tailstock side, do the same thing. So this is your coolant sump. We'll check that out whenever we're done with this. I'll show you that. That just pulls out so you can access the sump and the pump. So this is an LED light. You got the joints pretty tight here to keep them from moving around in transit. It probably needs loosening up there as well. All right. Got that. There's our coolant spout. I'm going to go ahead and get the DRO mounted up here and get it ready, because I don't know if the extension cord that's mounted to the display will reach the receptacle down there on the wall. If not, I'm going to see if maybe my electrician can mount a receptacle under the bottom of the panel here for it to easily plug into. I just want to get everything ready so that whenever he can get over here to get this wired up, everything will be ready to go. So I believe it's steel washer on top, and then you got nylon in the center there. Then we're going to have another nylon underneath there, just like that. Steel washer, lock nuts. All right, there's our display. We got the steel bracket bolted to the bottom of that, and it's supposed to sit right there. Maybe I'll just set that right there. Put the bolt to like that. Yeah, I think that's it right there. There's our power cord. I think we're going to be in luck here. Look at that. Oh yeah, that reaches. I didn't think it was going to be that long. I'll just, we'll fasten it over here to the machine. That way it's not just hanging out there everywhere, but that's nice. It's one less thing I got to worry about is hooking in another receptacle or extending it or anything like that. All right, I'm going to finish getting this hooked up. We've got the reader, the cables that go to the scales are down there coiled up, and we'll bring those up and hook them right into the back of the monitor right here, the readout. We're coming along with our lathe. I just finished getting the DRO hooked up. I'll show you that. There's one last thing I got to do. I haven't done it yet. There's a ground wire that I believe it attaches here, and you got to attach it to the bracket here. So I still need to do that, but you can see we've got our cables hooked up for our Z and X axis. I've been just kind of zip tie them together, make them clean, give it a clean look, hold them together. I'm using these locations here to zip tie them to kind of hold them up here to on the splash guard. All right, and then our cord that gives us our power. I'll be able to, once this is ready to go, I'll be able to just plug it in right there, just like that. Okay. And then those cables they actually just sandwich between the bottom casting, the bed, and the chip pan. Matter of fact, I still got to tighten up. I had to loosen the bolts for this to kind of get them to squeeze through there. And I went ahead and I ran it. I wanted to make sure that it was going to work like that, not pinch the cable. So I actually ran it all the way down here to the very end. So I've got it set right there now. And one of those are a little long, so you can see what I did right there. Just wrapped them up and zip tied them together. So I got to tighten that back up right there for the splash guard. Okay, so my electrician Danny is on his way here now. Should be here soon. He's going to go ahead and get a game plan for getting the electrical hooked up. I know they're going to come out of this panel here, going to come around the wall. He'll hook this machine in, and I think we're going to have a J box right here somewhere so that they can come out of that and come over to this area for another machine later, preferably a milling machine is what I'm hoping to put here later. Just have a J box there for that. So this evening, I'm going to work on the leveling feet that I want to machine my own. I'm going to take care of that, get those done this evening or first thing in the morning. And tomorrow, as long as the guys aren't back there getting this hooked up, I plan on getting this thing set on the feet and start getting it leveled. I need to get my precision level, make sure that it's calibrated, and then we will use this area right up here to make sure that the machine is level properly. Okay, so I think that's about it for now, and I'll bring you guys right back when we're ready to jump back on it.